welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X-2. Last time we did the creature creator thing and, well, probably should give a little more strategy than I originally did because I happened to get like the easiest teams to go through, and in racking up a mere 7 wins, I managed to die 20-30 times because this game hates me. So I think some strategy is in order. Also note that when you die in here, you don't get game over, but any items you use do, you know, like they are used up in the real world. So let us enter here and we'll go over some basic strategy for certain enemies that you will fight in here. Some are easier than others. All right, neither of those teams we want to face. Okay, so this particular team here contains a couple of flans and a haze or whatever they are, flying fish thingamajigger. This is not a particularly difficult fight. I wouldn't worry about this fight at all. By the way, these are the new job class that we picked up last time from doing this only a single time. And that's just getting successful, you know, beating the standard tournament once. That's all you have to do. As you can see, I've learned Thunder Eater or Lightning Eater, so they don't hurt me very much anymore. I have gained a little bit more in terms of experience than I wanted to since last time, because the enemies here give quite a bit of experience. Either of these would be a good choice to show off. So let's see, and this is the worst one. Okay, hammer down on one enemy and kill it fast. Because these guys can inflict curse, meaning you can't change job classes. They inflict confusion and instant death. Basically, it's extremely easy to get game over, and I'm just going to let it happen because it's not worth wasting money trying to revive people, since these guys, as soon as you lose 2 people, they're going to target the one that you revive pretty much every time. And the one that you revive is not going to have enough HP to survive it. For whatever reason, whoever was alive before takes like 100 and some odd damage, and anytime someone is just revived, they take like 300 damage from those guys. I have no idea why, but they always target it, and you always get screwed over by it. So instead of trying to fight it, don't worry about it. Move on, try again. There's no downside to losing, at least in this tournament. There is one tournament or a few tournaments later on where that's not the case, but let's show off a little more here. Alright, so this fight is rather unique. There's no easy way of doing this until after you've learned the Eater abilities for your psychics. I'll go over what I've got there in a moment. The gel there takes very little damage from physical and a lot of damage from, or well, a decent amount of damage from anything magical based. So any of our techs will deal somewhat decent amounts of damage. So telekinesis is an instant death ability, so let's try and get rid of that guy first and foremost. There we go. So now that he's out of the way, we have literally nothing to worry about because I have all the Eater abilities on. Before you have all the Eater abilities on, it's really a crapshoot because this guy alternates his weakness depending on, like, if he's using fire, he's weak to fire. And then he'll do a barrier shift, he'll use something else, and then he'll be weak to that. His only attack will reduce you to 1 HP. So basically, having the Eater abilities makes this unlosable as long as you get rid of the other guy ahead of time. He doesn't take a lot of damage from this, but Psychic Bomb he does. So I'm going to get that going to finish this guy off. But before you have this, the Eater abilities set up, you really don't have a good way of taking down this guy. This guy can be encountered in normal areas in the game, and it's basically better off to run away than to fight him unless you happen to have psychics with mastered lightning or, you know, all the elemental
You had
eaters.
your chance to run.
It's just not worthwhile. You can bring a black mage and, you know, bring a black mage in combination with a couple of white mages, have the white mages pray every round, and then have the the black mage just casts whatever the enemy is weak to. You can do that. It takes too much time. For the most part, it's usually not worthwhile.
Time to act.
Yeah, so we've learned some Gravity Eater stuff there. I'm not really worried about it. Gravity Eater's not really worthwhile, but it's there. Alright, next, let's show off some of the other guys. So yeah, when you're fighting the wolves there, because they can inflict so much, if you just die, you die. If not, target one of them down. I usually target down whatever the default one is first, and then after that, I want to focus on the lupus one, or lupine one, or whatever it is. The one that's different, because that's the one with the instant death attacks. Here, these guys are low levels. They're not going to be able to do anything about us. We can just kill them any way you want. They have less than 200 HP. They'll die very easily, so don't worry about that. They also don't do that much damage. Hurry up and die already. If you encounter the birds, let's see if we do here, because the birds have really high evasion, and because they have such high evasion, it's relatively difficult to hit them. Please don't tell me I'm fighting the dogs again. I'm fighting the dogs again. Yeah, the blue one there, he's the one who can inflict both confusion and instant death, so I want to kill this one first. There we go. So I've got one of them out of the way, so I take less damage. Now target Lupus and finish him off before he gets a chance to do instant death. Unfortunately, the game wants to automatically target the other ones. There we go. Now we're fine. No more problems from this guy. He can prevent you from changing your job classes with the curse ability, but we're not particularly worried about that. I can get used to this, because we can take him down relatively quickly. Once you've reached level 20, anyway. Alright, so if you run into the birds will... Let's see what I get here. Ah, crappy one. The birds will allow you, or the birds have really high evasion, so it's best to use some type of ability that will probably hit all of them, since there's 3 of them, and try and take them down that way. Try and choose a job class like the Psychic that has relatively high abilities. I don't need all this additional experience, so I'm going to be reloading at the... once we're done showing everything else off. I don't think there's too many other options I really wanted to show off. There is... well, we can show off that one if we get to. Alright, so he just disintegrated.
Out. You said it.
And yeah, you get different lines of dialogue if you're low on HP when ending a fight, which against them is usually the case. You'll notice that after each round you get a little bit of a reward. And that reward... here's another one of the fights. We'll get into that reward in a moment. This guy, the plant dude. Plant dude can be a bit of a pain in the ass. And that's because the plant guy can use Seed Burst, which I think has a chance of inflicting confusion on you, and Seed Cannon, which does like 500 damage. Seed, yeah, so this will do like 500-600 damage. It's a lot of damage. It also has Seed Burst, which hits you for about 300 damage and can deal, and will also potentially deal confusion. You want confusion protection in here. Unfortunately, only 2 of my people are able to be protected by it right now. But yeah, those things that you get there, is it on this screen of the guide? It is. Okay. So when doing the standard cup, you can get different prizes depending on what your level is. Since my level is around level 20, I can get high potions, 2 or 3 of them. You can also potentially get Ether times 8 or X potion times 1 or times 4. Stop with your confusion. Yeah, one of the things you have to watch in here is if you have one person that is susceptible confused, they love to pull out items, and I've had to reload before because she pulls out my frickin' elixir. Riku, what is wrong with you? I'm restarting anyway, so it doesn't matter, but yeah, she really loves pulling out that elixir and wasting it in a pointless fight. So I really wish I had something else to protect against Fuse. I don't. But anyway, what else are you going to waste this time, Riku? Anything else? Eye drops. And he's gone.
Closed.
But timer's not going. Oopsies. But yeah, that's the idea. I showed you the list of what the possible prizes are. After each round, you can get different pods as long as you don't have a full supply on them. On the first round, chances are you're going to get it's about, I think, 50% chance to get small, 30% medium, 15% large, and a 5% to get the SP one. That's just any of the rounds in the Standard Cup. And then the Champion round, the one where we fight this one and get the winner's trophy, the chances of you getting a small one are 0, medium 60, large 20, and SP or species 20%. So there's that. Each time you beat it after, defeat the tournament after the first, in this case it's 7, you'll get a random prize from 4 through 7 in this case. So either X Potion times 4, Ether times 8, a Titanium Banjal, or a Silver Bracer. Ideally, we would get additional Titanium Banjals because those are actually useful, but doesn't matter because I'm going to unload this anyway. That's mostly kind of how the strategy would work going in there against most of those enemies. If you don't have, like I said, learned all of these abilities, and I'll go into how I learned so many abilities in a bit here. Yeah, you guys can work on that, I don't care. Yeah, if you don't have that, like I said, you can use... No, that's not what I want. I'll look at dress fairs. There we go. You can use something like... Those gels are usually immune to silence. In this case, it is. I've tried it on it. So Black Mage, White Mage, you may want to use that combination. I personally just leveled up this by fighting through the tournament. And the way I did that is the prize for defeating the standard, whatever it is, tournament 3 times is a new garment grade. Now, what that does is it equips experience 0 proof. It doesn't mean you get 0 experience, it means it prevents the pointless status, which means if you're inflicted with the pointless status, you don't get any experience or AP after battle. In this case, you just now, when you equip this, you cannot be susceptible to it. Now, when you see only one of those symbols next to an ability like Auto Protect, you only need to go through one gate, for lack of a better term, in order to unlock it. Here, since we see 3 of them, you need to travel all the way through all of those gates. So if you go into a battle, say you're at the top and you're a psychic, you have to go down to become a dancer, over to become a white mage, and then back up to become a psychic in order to activate triple AP. This is how I was able to get all of those abilities. So get into a fight, change all job classes real quick, and then just use particular abilities, or any ability from the psychic in order to deal damage. Namely, I was working a lot with, let's see here, Psychic Bomb. Because Psychic Bomb damages all enemies, it doesn't deal a lot of damage, but it deals enough usually to keep them off your back. Certain battles it's not good to use, like it's good to use against the birds because it has higher accuracy than your normal attacks. It's bad to use against the wolves because they'll kill you before you have a chance to kill them all. But it all depends on how you want to do things. Anyway, that's pretty much all we wanted to go over there. Oh, by the way, if you press the start button when you're not in a cutscene, you can press the triangle button to quit out and go straight to the menu. I wish they included this in Final Fantasy X, but they did not. So anyway, with all of that stuff out of the way, catching up from last week, let us move on with the story and head over to, where should I go? Macalania. Let's go to Macalania.
It's been 2 years since the faith in Macalania Temple disappeared. They say it's affecting not only the lake, but the woods as well.
Alright, now before moving on, I am going to switch up everyone's garment grids here, because I don't need that additional experience anymore. I want to put it back on Vanguard. I also want to be using the Psychic by default, but I want to be one step away from being able to use the Blue Bullet, or the Gun Mage. And the reason for that will become apparent once we run into a particular enemy. Also want to leave White Mage on there. That would be a good idea. We don't have anything better to use right now, so we're just going to keep using the Vanguard Garment Grid. Later on, we will find something that's actually better than that. But until then, let us move on. Can I talk to you? No, I cannot. Still looks nice around here.
The woods will soon be no more.
Is that so? How do you know that? Okay. You just spout some random stuff and then you run away? What are you doing here? Guado? Oh. Oh, have they now? That's interesting. Well, that's not as interesting as is kind of sad, but anyway, around here we could do a number of different things. We're going to be sent to go back through this path, I think a little bit later as part of the plot, so I'm going to head up here first. There's a number of treasure chests we can get around here. I believe it's 7 items. So let's go up here first. There's usually a treasure chest up here, and no, this has nothing to do with ultimate weapons in this game. Oh, I've got turtle weather. Oh, by the way, as you can see from all that battling I did, I got huge amounts of high potions, so I am more than, you know, in good shape to be able to heal up now. It's, I also got a few X potions from that as well, and I think a few ethers or something like that. Should probably buy more Phoenix Downs at this point, but no well. Anyway, there's 1 of 7 treasure chests down. Let's see if we can go find where that guy ran off to. Because I believe that's the first part of this that we're supposed to do. Oh. Oh, I think I'm going the wrong way here. Trying to read the guide and walk at the same time. Okay, I was wrong. A lot of the guides just tell you to go to the spring, but there are technically 2 springs if you like actually pay attention to what the names are, and the Guado that was kind of hiding there seems to have disappeared. Stand here all day waiting for something to never happen. Exciting, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. Honored from a bit. Yeah, maybe later. We'll head in there by airship at some point. So yeah, this is technically one of the springs. And there is another spring as well. We want to talk to this guy, though.
The end has come faster than I thought. What can we do?
Find Shrek?
I'll be there in 2 secs.
Okay. Notice in the background, there's a Guado over there. Now, this is the same spring, and it says it's spring right in here, but there's just 2 entrances from it. So this is the one we wanted to go to first. I don't think there's anything up here, but I'll double check. There's an old man. He's at the spring deep in the woods. Oh, right, there's this part of it too. I had forgotten about that. Let's see here. Not Guado Salam, even though we are dealing with a Guado. Elderly Guado. 4. Perfect. Alright. And then the other one is right by the save sphere, who we spoke with earlier. And that's all for the PR that we can do here in Macalania, which is nice, because honestly have no interest in doing it really beyond what we have to do. And let's see, let's go back here. So depending on which guide you follow, one will tell you to go through this way, the other tells you to go through the other way. Okay, so we'll go through this way. We'll show off some of the new enemies, some of the old enemies. Ah, there we are. Alright, so we want to use Brainstorm on this guy. Then we want to turn everybody into gun mages. And yes, all of the transformation sequences are this cheesy and over-animated. This is why I have it set to only do this once, and even though we'll show off the showcase later,
I dare you, because I'll use it right back.
Brainstorm will inflict both silence and confusion, but we're more interested in confusion than we are the other one. Now, hoping that was this haze enemy. Yes, it is this haze enemy. There's also an enemy called Deep Haze, or Hazize, or however the hell you pronounce this guy's name.
Prepare for a phantasmagoric panoply of magical power. Your abilities will be mine.
Okay. If you say so. So we got Brainstorm going here. And now you're going to transform. And then we're going to wait for the magic to happen. Now that we've got everybody all figured out here. This is why I wanted to get the... why do I keep forgetting Psychic? Okay, why do I... For some reason I keep forgetting that.
Magic. Let's see what you've got.
But this is why I wanted to get the Psychic as early as I could. Because this guy teaches us Mighty Guard if you confuse him. But we need a way of inflicting confusion. And Mighty Guard is very, very good. And it basically nukes the ability to need... Well, this is nukes half of the ability to need a white mage. Let's take a look here. Can I see the abilities? No, I can't. Okay. Well, anyway, we've got it. I think it inflicts haste, protect, and shell. Maybe regen as well. I don't remember. But that's the important one to get around here. There is one more important one to get, but because it's me, I want to try and get all of the blue magic spells throughout the game, even though very few of them are useful. But we'll go for them all if we can. Alright, so there should be one more of those strange dudes. Ah, you're the other weird dude. Well, there's that. Okay. Let's see here. You have 773 HP, 2892 if you oversoul, weak to lightning, and gravity. Let's see here. Oh, it's just shell and protect. There's no haste. Oh well. Would have been nice if we could have got some haste, but we'll get haste other ways later. Can I open this, please? Thank you. So that's 2. We got a white ring. Again, I'll make the Diablo 2 joke. Not as good as in that game. And yes, you can run into the stupid gel guy here. The only real way to reliably take it on without dying is to be in psychic form. Now, for whatever reason, you'll get to see transformation from any job class into another job class, even though we saw the transformation from Psychic to Gun Mage, we now have to watch it from Gun Mage to Psychic. It's really weird how they set this whole thing up, but anyway. I'll go over some of these abilities. Mazer Eye, it's like a laser beam. It doesn't deal as much damage as Psych Bomb, and it costs more MP, so there's that. This is instant death. It teleports the enemy away. It's not bad, but it doesn't work often enough in my opinion. And this inflicts silence and confusion on all enemies. So there you go. You got to watch some transformation sequences. I feel like I'm a kid again watching Sailor Moon. Don't judge me. You all know you watched Sailor Moon as a kid. You healed me, you suck. There we go. Yeah, for the most part, we can fast forward through the rest of this fight now, since we've already seen me fighting this guy in the battle arena thing there. He's basically the same enemy. There we go. He takes forever to die, just like the boss did in Final Fantasy X. There we go. And if you're lucky, you can get a blue ring off him. I got one off of him earlier when I was fighting him in the arena there. So I've got a couple of those now. Not that I really need them, but they're there. They're really good to have earlier in the game, but, well, I guess we're still at the beginning of the game, but now that we have the psychics, we just don't need it anymore. Speaking of psychics, they do decent amounts of damage that mean we don't really need to worry about most of the enemies going forward for the rest of the chapter.
Effortless.
We're a little high on levels compared to what I would like to be, but we'll be able to remedy that in Chapter 2 by skipping a lot of battles. There'll be an ability that allows us to do that that's not me just pressing that, just like in Final Fantasy X.
Oh me, oh my, what did you say? Don't move an inch, I'm on my way.
Are you now? What am I watching here? Game? What am I watching?
These woods grow lonely day by day.
These guys like to rhyme. And teleport away. But you gotta talk to them all in order to trigger events so that you can go and do things. Luckily, there's no butterflies to chase down anymore. We've already seen him, but not as an Oversoul, so I guess we'll watch him Oversoul. And it's going to be real funny because as long as you're using, you know, these guys, the Psychics, doesn't matter how many Elementals or Flans Oversoul, they ain't doing jack squat. Yeah, you can inflict magic down. I'm not really all that worried about that. Yeah, there's a very complete and very informative list of like all the different enemies and all of the different abilities that they can deal. Like all of their different spells, depending on whether they oversoul or not, their turn order, their, you know, battle strategy kind of deal, all that kind of stuff. You know, what turn, you know, what abilities they'll use in which order, typically, or if it's random, or if they normally target whoever's got lowest HP or whoever's got highest HP or no one. So yeah, there's really nice one on GameFAQs. If you're interested, go check that out. But for me, as far as strategy goes, for a lot of the random encounters, there isn't a lot of strategy required, so I'm not going to go kind of over the top to try and figure it all out. See, this is the other side of the same spring, but of course, this is the one where we fought the boss, not the one where we saw the cutscene there in Final Fantasy X. Yeah, you can see in the distance they're kind of standing around all over the place. Look who it is.
Oh, High Summoner Yuna, forgive me for the grief I have caused you.
How have you been?
Well, with Lord Seymour gone, we Guado are hardly different from the dead.
Hi, Eeyore. Yeah, he's very much still Eeyore.
Many Ronso lost their lives at the hands of Lord Seymour. Those who survived swore vengeance for their fallen comrades. We Guado sealed ourselves away in Guado Salam and strengthened our defenses. But soon we no longer had the strength for even this. Now we live among the shadows of these woods.
Trommel.
You have to talk to him 4 times.
High Summoner, do not trouble yourself to show sympathy for the Guado. We once walked willingly with Lord Seymour, never questioning, even as he led all Spira into madness. Lady Yuna, I cannot ask that you forgive us, only that you forget us.
Trommel.
And 1 more time should do her.
Ah, well, what brings the High Summoner to these woods?
Well, I'm a sphere hunter now.
A sphere hunter?
We, hunt spheres.
Congratulations.
You don't say.
I love
Well
that
then,
reaction.
please allow me to give you this. It is of no use to us.
Score!
A free sphere, very nice. The special dress spheres. You guys know more than I do about them because other than like once in my very first playthrough, I never used them. And there is good reason for that. They really aren't all that good. After changing to all the dress spheres on a character's active garment grid, call upon the garment grid and you can become the special dress sphere. The thing is, the special dress sphere replaces all 3 girls with just the 1 girl in this dress sphere, and you get like 2 side pieces or whatever to work with as well. Let's see here, abilities, that one was for pain. So yeah, you get 2 wings and the full throttle thing itself. To be honest, I don't use it. I find no use in it because it replaces your whole party, and these things I don't think are all that good. I have much more, like they all have ribbon to start with and they earn double AP or double HP very easily, so they have a high amount of HP, but I'd rather use all of my characters and level them all up instead of trying to use one. The only real way you would want to use it is with that new garment grid. They said you can only use it after you've used every other dress sphere on the grid. So the only way to really make sense is to have the transformation be from one, you know, the only other one on the grid to the special dress sphere. That's how you would do it. I'm not a big fan of it. If you guys know any uses for it, let me know. But other than that, I probably won't use it. All right. So we talked to all 3 of those guys. We've talked to Trommel. There is one other thing I would like to do, and you know what? I think we're going to go a little long today just because I want to get this all cleared up. And I was going to do it all in one video until I realized all the things I was going to have to correct from last time. I've always liked this area. It looks cool. What have we here?
Franekra.
Huh?
Oaka Kadwidrana.
What about Owaka?
Lusawid, na kiktela ekvidema.
Oh, what's up? Hey! I was about to say, am I fighting Owaka? The answer is no. You fight Salets here. Salets, 60 HP, 248. If they oversoul, not weak to anything. I like the Psychic job class. It's a lot of fun.
Do Owaka a favour and pretend you never saw him.
Okay. And he's gone. And they speak gibber gibber. Yeah. We can't get in there, but there is a treasure chest over there. A couple more. Well, I think one of them's new. And the Salet's still dead. Let's see. White Elemental, 77 HP, 308 when they oversoul, weak to fire. Also weak to normal attacks. Not really, but weak enough that they're dead before you could even get a spell off. Which is why I don't care to use spells on them, since you might as well just use normal attacks. Let's get in here. So So I believe that's 3 on the items. The encounter rate is a little high around here for some reason. Fast forward. There we go. Let's get off this screen here. There we go.
Awaka the 23rd! Where are you?
Yeah. This is why I said it was going to run a little long, because we have another mission to do. So on the run from debt collectors. Ah, that sounds like a Waka. Let's see. Stay on your toes. He's faster than the average merchant. I don't know if you have to go this way and follow him, but I'm going to anyway. And since we've already fought all the enemies, I'm turning off encounters and I'm turning on fast forward just to make this go by faster, since we're already a little long on things. Yeah, you do have to go this way. Thought so. Yeah, depending on which guide you say you follow, it'll tell you to do this, that, or the other thing, and this, that, or the other order, so. Turning off encounters, just he waves hi to us and then runs away. Alright. So, I think technically we have 4 treasures now, because I think the dress sphere on my list is one of them. So that's 4 items, which means there should be 3 left to get. Let's run through the rest of this area. Hit the save sphere there. Oh, found him again. He's still running. Chase him! Yeah, not a whole lot to this one here, but if you go up here, there we go, we turn that off. What do you have to say? Certainly have a lot of visitors, do you? I smell a fugitive. Must think we can't see him. Well, the camera can't.
It looks like you finally caught up with me. A Walker at your service.
So you made your way out of jail, buddy. Good. Because that's where he was at the end of the last game. That's why Wants was running the store.
I bought the travel agency from Mr. Rin, but then the temple nearby sank to the bottom of the lake.
Oh.
And business sank with it. Just my luck.
That is your luck.
Now the Abed have come to collect and are not in the mood for excuses. Think ye could give old Walker a place to lay low? For a while? I'll find a way to make it up to ye, I promise.
And you will indeed.
What do you think? Sounds like he's in trouble.
No doubt. Call the up. No. You do want to let him on the ship. It's another 100% thing.
Thank ye.
You let him on the ship. And let's see. You let him in and you get the Ice Queen Garment Grid. Now, let's take a look at my treasure list. So we got 2 items from, so we got the dress sphere, 1 garment grid, another garment grid, the white ring, the high potion, the turbo ether, and the Albed primers. Yeah, so we got everything. I just wasn't keeping track of it properly in my head. So that's fine. Now that we've done that, we want to go on the airship and we want to talk to a Waka. And that should trigger the full percentage that we need from this area, which should be 2.2, which, assuming my math is right, should lead me up to a full percentage point. And then we can call her an episode, because we're at a good stopping point. Get in there. Come on. Go to the cabin. When you pick up guests, they'll usually be in the cabin. We will be finding other guests to bring along board. Pretty much anytime you have the option to, say yes. Awaka.
Welcome to Awaka's.
Yeah, Awaka's got a debt meter here of 100,000. We need to pay this off by buying things from him at a slight discount compared to what everything else is. So let's buy a few things from him. Not too much, because, you know, money. But let's see here. Let's buy a bunch of things. Buy some of those. Sure. And then I can sell some of the excess things. Yeah, so we've lessened your debt a little bit. There's no real, well, there is a trick for paying this off a lot faster than otherwise would be, but it's not really a trick, you know, as much as it is part of the game. So anyway, we go over here and we'll sell a bunch of items, and then we can go over to him and buy a bunch of items. We don't want to do this too much, but we'll do it a little bit. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else I really need to sell at the moment. For the most part, don't sell too many, like the elemental items. You could probably sell those. I never really use them, but other than that, like things like silence grenades, I would keep. You may want them for something. Chocobo feathers and chocobo wings you probably want for later. Light curtains you'll get a lot of throughout the game, but make sure you keep a few around. S-bombs you probably don't need. Grenades, budget grenades, those types of things you don't really need. Anyway. So that's that.
Thank you.
We will end up coming into more money to help pay down his debt sooner rather than later. And you do want to pay his debt down, I think, by the end of Chapter 2 or something? Or Chapter 3. I can't remember. One of the two. You got to pay it down relatively quick. But luckily, the trick for doing that is available, I think, in Chapter 2. So we won't be in bad shape there. So let's hopefully I did everything right. 14%. Let's just go through my things again here. So we had 9%, 10%, 11.6, 11.8, and 2.2. Should be 14%. So we're bang on. Perfect. Always good to see things working out. Alright, so next time we will continue on. We'll move on to one of the next areas in the game. And again, we're still not going to Zanarkand, even though that's where we're supposed to go. But we're going to go do some more side areas, get some more items, maybe some more drop spheres or dress spheres or whatever they are. And yeah, that's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.